Okay guys, getting ready to do a oil change on an LTR-450. Tools that you'll need are both size ratchets, a small one and the large one. You'll most likely want extensions for both. You'll definitely need the extension for the long one. Okay, you need the 8mm, the 10mm, and a 12mm. Okay, now the 10mm goes down here on that bolt and that bolt. Those are the plugs for the clutch oil drain area on the clutch, and you'll want the small guy in there. You cannot get the big ratchet down there on those clutch bolts. Okay, I got my homemade oil pan, cardboard, towels here ready. I'm gonna get this drain in and we'll go from there. Okay, I got those drain in. As you can tell, they're already almost done. There's not a lot of oil in there. What I like to do is come around here and pop that clutch cap loose, just to allow it to drain a little easier. I'll thread that back on there very loosely, and just so I don't lose that cap, but and so that nothing gets in there while it's draining. These two bolts are the exact same, so no need to worry about getting those mixed up when you pull those. Just make sure you don't lose the washer off the end. So, and those sit pretty tight back against there, so you should never lose them. Just be aware of those. Like I said, those are the same size, so no worries on getting those mixed up. I've got two LTRs, an 08 and an 06, and I just did an oil change on the 06 too. They both have the 10mm plugs. I know I've seen a video where a guy had Allen wrench plugs, so if you guys have an Allen wrench plug out there, I can't help you with that size. I'm sorry. There's another YouTube video guy using Allen's. So now the 12 I'm getting ready to use on the main oil drain plug. On my 06, I think somebody replaced the stock drain plug with their own bolt, and that's a 14 on the 06, but on the 08 I'm 99% sure that's a stock plug, and that is a 12. So more than likely you guys will have 12 millimeter bolt or socket, sorry, on your main engine oil drain. Okay, these are pretty much done dripping. Bear with me, guys. I'm just one man here trying to do all this, hold the camera and feed these in. So I like to clean off my bolts before I put them back in there. Just wipe them down with a rag. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. It's just tight area, pretty tedious to get into. One thing I did see a mechanic do once on my 06 LTR. I don't recommend doing this. I haven't done it by myself. Like I said, a mechanic was helping me change my oil once, and he did this. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. Once he had all the plugs out, he actually turned the engine over just for like 2 or 3 seconds and shut it off immediately, and that actually drained out more oil. He said that's a thing that you can do with the LTR-450. Like I said, I don't recommend it because turning on an engine when there's little to no oil in the engine is against everything that I've ever heard. He did it one time. I never had any problems with that. 06 LTR still runs great, but let me know what you guys think about that. I'm gonna get this other bolt in and tighten down, and then I'll drain the main engine oil. Okay guys, I'll show you this. This is where you need the extension on your bigger ratchet and your 12. If you don't have a bigger extension or you won't be able to get seated on that bolt because of the frame. I don't know if a deep well socket would fit that. It might, but if you got a socket set, you should have at least a 3-inch extension. So there's why you need the extension there. Now, with these guys, when I tighten them back down, I like to take them about an 1/8 to maybe a 1/4 turn past snug. So get them down to where they're seated and tight, and then try and crank them down just a little further. That's what I like to do with those. Make sure those are good and tight. And then here's your engine oil plug right there. So I got this popped loose, not loose enough to take off just yet, I don't think, but I'll get that draining and then we'll go from there. Okay, got that plug off, got that draining, and then again, there's your engine oil cap right there. I like to just take that loose, just open up the airflow, let it drain out of there, hopefully a little quicker. This one will probably take a little longer to drain. Now, my 06 doesn't have this. See if I can get my angle camera in here. The 08 right there has 1200 milliliters right on the oil tank. Now, like I said, my 06 doesn't have that. So back in the day before I had my 08, when I just had the 06, I just filled it till it was, 3/4 to almost the top of the hash mark on my dipstick, and just kept pouring and watching it that way. But once I got the 08, saw that, I've been putting 1200 milliliters in my engine oil tank. And then over here, I'll show you really quick. You got your 400 milliliters right there for your clutch tank. So 400 in there and 1200 in your main engine oil tank. Well, that's draining. I have been using the Lucas ATV UTV 4-stroke engine oil 10W40 semi-synthetic. As you can see right there, it's just under 1,000 milliliters. So as I'm filling, I just watch my milliliter marks and get it as close as I can. Let me know in the comments what you guys like to put in your machines. Lucas, I know, is a pretty good product. I've used Yamalube before, so if you guys use Yamalube, let me know. I know that's what my brother runs on his bike. So yeah, just let me know what you guys like to run in your machine. For that, yeah, we'll get this finished draining, plug back in, and then I'll move on to the oil filter. Okay guys, that's done draining. Got the plug back in there. Be a little more cautious when you're putting that plug back in. You can feel it tighten down, and I get it good and snug, and maybe just a hair tighter than snug, but don't wrench on that one quite as much as your 10 millimeters down here. 10 millimeters can go on pretty tight, really nice and tight. This one you want tight, but don't over crank it for sure. You don't want to strip that out. So now over here for your oil filter. Got your oil filter right here. That arrow right there points towards your clutch case. Okay, so that's directional. 08 and 06 both take 8 millimeter socket for these guys, all three of these. This bolt here is your long one. So these two, top and bottom, are your short ones, and this guy over here is your long one. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that off, and that's the only bolts that you'll have to keep track of. But the one further away is your long one, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Your threads on your short ones won't reach that one, so you'll figure it out if you lose track of them, but just be aware of that. So I'm going to take this off. I got my oil pan under here because you'll have a little bit of drainage. I'll take and set some rags down here too to catch some of that oil from dripping all over my frame, but we'll get that new engine oil filter in there. Okay, that's what it looks like when it's all taken apart. Your oil filter just sits in there. Like I said, sorry I'm a one-man guy tonight. There's your two shorties, obviously, and your long one. So once again, your long one goes back over here in the further away hole. There's my oil filter down there. And here's my fresh one. I just want to say I'm not sponsored by anybody, not sponsored by High Flow, not sponsored by Lucas. So if you guys have, favorite engine oil filter or oil that you like to use, let me know. I'm not sponsored. I got no skin in the game when it comes to a brand. I just do what I can, what I know is best for my machines. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Now, this side faces out. Your hole obviously faces in, and it caps over top of that. Okay, now here's what the cap looks like. You got that rubber ring around there. I cleaned it off a little bit. When you put that back on, I actually forgot to do this on my 06 just now when I changed its oil, but you can take some of your used oil and just dab that around that rubber ring. Help seal that up a little bit better. So again, since I'm just one guy, go ahead and pause this and get this new filter put in. Put the cap back on it, and go from there. Okay guys, I got that back in there. Getting this cranked back down, as you can see. Again, with these, I just go maybe a little tighter than snug. Just make sure all three of these are nice and tight. And again, that arrow you want pointing towards your clutch case. Okay, so that is that for the engine oil filter. I'm going to go ahead, find my oil real quick, and I'll start filling this up. I guess a tool I didn't mention at the beginning was a filter. Not a filter, I'm sorry, a funnel. Let's get a small funnel because you can't reach back in there to pour engine oil in there. Another one I forgot was if your machine has a skid plate. This is obviously not a large skid plate. It's just a tiny little poly one that slides up under there. You'll have to take that off to reach the 10 millimeter clutch bolts. This bolt on mine is an 11, so you'll want an 11 socket for him. Yours might be different. If your machine has full skid plates underneath, I'm not experienced with that. I know a lot of guys tip their machine all the way up, let it rest against the rear grab bar. That way they can stand up to take off their skid plates. I've got a friend who's got a Raptor, and he does that with his. So, yeah, but 11 millimeter on that little poly skid plate, tiny little thing to get to your 10 millimeter bolts under there. Sorry, I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video. I'm going to get my oil, get this filling up, and make sure you have a funnel. Alright, I think I got about 400 milliliters in there. Again, with this one, you shouldn't need a funnel. I mean, that's a full bottle. and I just tipped it on its side. It went right in. No worries with that one. Should be pretty easy to fill. And again, I just go by their thing. You can see the oil line right there. If my maths is right, 900 and roughly 50 minus 400 should be 550. So that's kind of between the 5 and the 6 mark there. Try to get it about halfway. I wouldn't be super worried if you overfill by a little bit. If you're getting over full more than like 100 milliliters, be cautious of that. But these engines do burn a little bit, typically, depending on your riding style and how hard you're riding. So now with this one, these handy little fuel lines going right through here. Those are nice for holding your funnel. Get my funnel set up here. I like to take and just push my funnel right through there. Usually that just holds that right there. Turn on the flashlight, and you don't even have to hold your funnel. Worked on my 06, worked on my 08. Your fuel line's running right through there. Can kind of hold that in place for you. Go ahead and crack my second one open. Since that's 950, I'll dump that full one in. Again, we got 1200 milliliters listed right there. Let me know what you guys think. I think I've read in forums before where guys will just dump whatever's left over in here, in there, plus they're full. That's like roughly 1600, so that's 400 milliliters more. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that 1200 milliliters. Yeah, but that's what I do. And then obviously as I'm running my machine, before every ride, I just check my oil level to make sure she's nice and full. But yeah, again, pretty straightforward. Just filling up your oil here. I'm thinking about putting inline fuel filters on both of my machines. They both still have the swirl filters on them. Let me know. I haven't heard a lot of pros or cons for the inline filter. I know the swirl filters generally get nasty fairly easily, and they are a major pain to get to. So just let me know what you guys think about putting an inline filter on here. If you guys want me to do a video on that, I'm thinking about doing that because I haven't seen anybody actually walk through the process of putting an inline filter on here. So as you can see, the swirl filter sits right up there in this little bracket case area, and to get to it, you obviously have to pull all your plastics off, pull your whole engine tank out just to get to a swirl filter. So I'm thinking that an inline filter would be good. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm thinking about doing inline filters for both the 06 and the 08, maybe later this summer. So I'm going to finish filling up this oil here, and then I'll start her up. Okay guys, once again, just there's my mark right there where we were up here at the 550 range. So again, if my math is correct, 550 minus 300 should be 250. 300 plus your 9 makes 1200 milliliters. You know, I might be, since this is 950, I might be about 50 milliliters over, but I'm getting ready to go down to the dunes. As you can tell, I've got my paddle tires on here and stuff. So these tend to burn a little bit because riding down at the dunes, it's pretty hard on them. So yeah, well, that funnel is draining. Let me know what you guys think on how often you should change your oil. Again, this is largely due to your riding style. If you're hitting the track a lot and riding really hard and just really ripping on your machine, you know, probably 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours is probably wise. I've heard 6 to 8. So that's what I kind of go for on mine. Mine doesn't have an hours meter, so it's kind of like, you know, if I spend an afternoon riding, you know, that's 3 to 4 hours, and, you know, I just kind of do guesswork that way, but definitely lean towards changing your oil more often than not with these, any 400 machine, you know what I mean? It's changing out your oil for, you know, 20-30 bucks is way cheaper than doing a whole engine repair. So just change your oil plenty often, guys. But let me know what you guys think on how often you should change it out. I've only owned the Suzuki LTRs, so, you know, TRX guys or YFZ guys, Yamaha, let me know what you guys change your machines out, how often you go about that. So, let's see here. This should be about done dripping. Yeah. So, again, sorry I'm kind of handicapped. I'm going to stop the video and I'll start this thing up in a second. Okay, guys, just finished up putting the dipstick cap back on. This machine is heavily modified. A guy I know actually used to race this particular machine, so that's why this is my start button right here. I have to pull the clutch in. Turn the key. He moved the lights over there because it's got flex handlebars. So let me know if you guys want me to do a video on this machine, because almost everything on it is aftermarket. Yeah, there's a lot going on with this machine. So. Okay guys, there you have it. Oil change on LTR. This is, like I said, this model is 08, but I've got an 06 and almost everything is identical, and I would imagine it's the same for the 07s. So yeah, I hope this helped people out. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see me do anything else with my machines. Thanks guys.